Welcome to One Eye Television. I'm here at Community Media of Staten Island, New York. Here I wanted to bring to you all my great show based around my art and my experience as being an artist. Through my art, I share with you all different techniques and different styles. Hope you all enjoy the show. On creating this art piece today, I wanted to discuss hip-hop. What is the pros and cons of hip-hop? Is hip-hop a positive or a negative for our community and our youth? Let's take a look at it. From my perception, I wanted to break down my experience. Through hip-hop, I learned to cope with life. That is something that I learned in life. As my perception with hip-hop and what I think of hip-hop, I wanted to break down different levels of my perception of hip-hop. Before we get into that topic, I wanted to kind of break down what I'm creating today. This subject matter that I'm creating today is based around hip-hop. I wanted to take it back to the beginning of my time as someone who listened to hip-hop growing up. So the reason why I wanted to make this subject matter, it's a cassette tape. Because when I grew up, in the era I grew up in, that's what we listened to hip-hop off of, a radio, a big old radio with a cassette player. And so I wanted to go back to the late 80s, early 90s, when hip-hop was somewhat at the beginning stages. And look at it today. We never knew hip-hop can be this amazing, you know. But one thing that a lot of people that I've contacted and had a lot of discussions with was, is hip hop good for our community? Is hip hop healthier for our youth? And what is my perception? So I wanted to create this subject with a piece of art to give my insights in what it was like for me growing up listening to hip hop. Growing up for me listening to hip hop, I must say the late 80s, early 90s, there was, like the Run DMC, Fat Boys, Cool Mo D, Big Daddy King, different people, Slick Rick. It was all types of positive, somewhat rappers growing up in our community, and the lyrics was more like hip hop and more positive than it is in this day and time. So my perception is, I feel like there's different levels. I feel like somewhere hip hop has taken a turn for the worse, and I want to break down my perception of that and how it is considered affecting our community in this day and time. As me growing up in the early 90s listening to rap, the question is always asked, was hip-hop, did hip-hop influence me to do things? And from my experience as me growing up, that's what hip-hop is. Hip-hop is a form of art to me. And hip-hop it is an influencer for people growing up, because in so many ways, hip-hop opened the doors for a lot of people that come from the streets to be able to express themselves. It was sort of like mixed with breakdancing and graffiti and the street life. It was all in one, and there was people that knew how to rhyme that turned hip-hop, they knew how to turn what they saw into lyrics and tell stories of what they saw in the neighborhoods. And that what attracted so many of us to these rappers and MCs and DJs, because it was a brand new culture and it was very influential throughout the world. People all over the world love hip hop. It affects not just the black culture, it affects everyone. And I feel as though the way hip hop is today, it's a different form. It's still very powerful to influence people. And it depends on what type of rap you're listening to. That could be either a positive or a negative. So, me breaking down what my experience is as living in the hip hop era, I want to talk about how is hip hop affecting our communities and our youth. To break this subject down, um, I wanted to go very, very deep with this subject matter. But before I get into that subject, I want you to see, as you can see in this picture, that the cassette tape player is the tape is coming along. You can see how I'm using an E pen to sort of mainly get the outer shell of the tape to kind of like I'm building a form, like it's sort of like the first layers to this subject. And now that you can see as I'm creating this piece, I'm kind of like filling in the shaded areas where it's most dark in the areas, and I'm trying to just picture, back in the days when I used to have tape. I also remember when I used to have these type of tapes that, if you if the tape player mess up your tape, the string will come all out and get messy. I remember that some of my best rap tapes was like that. But the joy in purchasing a tape was like going to the store and being able to purchase a cassette player and cassette tape and your favorite rapper. You can open the box and you can read the lyrics. It was a physical copy. It's much different from in today's time where you just can download it, you can buy it online, and it's on your either phone or your television or anything like that. So the hip hop and the music world has changed dramatically, and that's something that also has taken on new heights. And so in saying that, this is what I mean by we're living in a different time, as where hip hop back then is not the same hip hop of where we was at before. In today's time, our hip hop community, I feel as though it's in a dangerous era. The reason why I wanted this to break this era down is because there's something missing, and there's something that has been taken from hip hop, as where now hip hop is, I feel as though it's in a critical state. And I'm gonna break down my perception of it and what it was like when I was coming up compared to this day and time of hip hop. Hip hop in the late 80s, early 90s, I feel as though it always been a backdoor in hip hop to the streets, because that's where hip hop came from. Hip hop came from the street culture, and it always been like a backdoor to hip hop. In saying that, hip hop has always been a way for us from the streets to make it out of the streets to become more productive people in our society. But also, in saying that, there's a positive and a negative to this backdoor of hip hop. The positive is you can make it out and you can become successful and you can help people in your community. But there's a negative side, as where the people that make it out and become positive role models in our community, as they are making it out of there from through the back door, there's also people that's coming through that same back door that's causing a lot of harm and a lot of pain in our community. Let's talk about it. As I continue to study the hip hop world and enjoy the music and the brilliant artists that all over the world that has taken hip hop as a career, there's amazing artists who we want to give all our respect to those brilliant, amazing artists. As I continue to study and see how our community is being affected by hip hop and the influences of hip hop, there's subjects that we choose to turn our eyes to and don't we overlook, or we don't want to talk about the things that is really causing a lot of pain in our community. And that's the reason why I wanted to talk about this subject. This subject is based around this hip hop backdoor. It's where it is causing our youth to die in the streets. A lot of pain, a lot of see, in today's time, the hip hop world, the music has changed from hip hop to gangster music, to drill music, to music that is teaching our youth to kill. This music is teaching our youth to degrade women, to not value our lives. And one of the things that is really causing a lot of pain is the guns, the violence of the guns. And the reason why it is so much killing in our communities throughout from all over the world. Let's just put it like that. But mainly I'm talking about in the United States of America, where there is so much bloodshed in our youth community today, and no one has a solution to that problem. And what I have come to realize is that that back door in hip hop is causing that pain. I'm gonna break it down to you. As rappers make it to that back door and come through that back door, they're not just making it through the back door, they're bringing their gang members with them. What do I mean by that? The reason why there is so much bloodshed and killing and drugs and violence in the black community is because that back door to hip hop is causing that pain. If you look at every community where there is a major artist, rapper, or any city where there's a lot of talented rappers, successful rappers, or producers, record label companies, any city that has those rappers and community in studios in their community, that is where the most violence, because they're using the money to flood the streets with guns. They supplying gang members, gangs with guns, drugs, and it's like hip hop has made the streets. It's like they're on steroids. The lifestyle of the streets now is because, see, in the early ages of hip hop, it wasn't that many people, or I'm not gonna say people, I'm gonna say there wasn't that many black people having that much control over a lot of money. And as you can see in hip hop today, there's a lot of successful black young millionaires in hip hop, and a lot of those people that is being successful, they're going back to their neighborhoods and they're flooding the streets with guns, with drugs, because the gang members that is in the videos with them are the ones that is causing a lot of pain in our community. And is it worth talking about? Yes, it is, because to see our community being ripped apart through this music is causing a lot of people to feel that pain, from the young to the old, from it's just a lot of violence, a lot of unbelievable pain is coming knocking at people's doors unexpectedly. And and a lot of people don't want to take accountability of that. But I wanted to break this subject matter down, and I wanted to talk about what is the solution to this problem. And I feel as though me talking about this subject matter, maybe someone will be able to get answers. But I feel as though one of the major problems in our community today is that back door in hip hop that is causing that pain. Because a lot of the crimes that is going on in our neighborhoods with the influence of the music. If you listen to the music and the lyrics of what they're rapping about, they're telling you what is going on in the community. They're flooding the streets with guns. They're flooding it with drugs and gang activity. And the overall picture is the internet, the social media has taken the likeness of the gang life, the rapper's life, is where you influence our youth. And the youth with a young mind, see, it's a difference when you're looking at hip hop from an adult perception and looking at it from a minor or someone teenage with a mind of a 12-year-old. That is the difference. You can see a different perception when you're looking at how they're controlling and using the music to influence our youth. And our youth glorify being a gang member, going to jail, shooting guns, killing. And that's where I feel as though something needs to be done. If we don't step up and do something about what is going on in our community with the music, with that back door to hip hop, I think our future for our youth is going to get worse than what it is as of today. As you can see, as I continue to talk about this back door to hip hop, you can see me creating this cassette tape that I'm creating it's looking pretty good now. I'm sort of like really like just really want to get detailed and try to get as much as done as I continue to talk about this subject matter, because the older I get, and cause see, I'm a product of hip hop, and I know what hip hop, how hip hop can influence someone, not just the music, the artists. The artists are people that people really admire, and that's why I feel as though I needed to talk about this. Do I love hip hop? Yes, I listen to hip hop all the time. I love hip hop, but I also know that there's something that needs to be done, because in hip hop in this day and time, there are more millionaires, there's more youth, there's more people with money at a younger age now in this day and time than it ever been in the history of America. The reason why I'm saying this is because there's a difference when you're a millionaire and you went to school and you earned the money and you became a millionaire through education. But there's a difference when you get millions and millions of dollars and you put it in the hands of young people who gangbang, who kill, who sell drugs. Putting that type of money in those type of people's hands is causing a lot of pain in our community. There's mothers crying, there's drugs being distributed throughout our community, fentanyl, heroin, crack, weed, laced with fentanyl. Everything is based around this back door that I'm talking about as hip hop. This back door to hip hop is causing a lot of pain. And if someone does not step up to save our youth, not just our youth, our community, because the youth is not just the only one suffering from this situation. There's a lot of older people that's dying in the streets and been taking a lot of consequences because of this backdoor. So in saying that, what are our community gonna do about this backdoor that is causing this pain in our lives? As we come to the end of this quick sketch, I wanted to ask the people that's out here looking at this video, ask yourself how and what are the solutions to this situation? How can we change this situation for not just the youth that's living now, not just for the people that's living in this day and time, but what are some of the solutions or that we can have for the future? Because hip hop is going in a totally different direction. See, now hip hop it has another form, it don't branched off into a whole nother era of drill music, drill rap. Drill rap is killing your op and rapping in the lyrics on wax, bragging about them taking it someone out, killing your kids, killing our youth in the community. So I know a lot of people may not want to touch on this topic, but I'm someone that really look at life and I look at the real truth, the truth that has not been talked about. And that is something that I wanted to talk about in this video. I wanted to kind of break down my perception of hip hop, what I think about hip hop. Hip hop is a beautiful, amazing form of art, but I also know that everything has a good and everything has a bad. You can take something and abuse it, and I feel like in this day and time, hip hop is being abused, not just by the rappers, but by the record labels, the social media. It's just being taken advantage of as well, because music is very powerful, and if we don't do something about this situation of this back door being wide open in hip hop, we're gonna be in some serious trouble in the future, and there's gonna be more bloodshed, a lot of more of our youth dying from gang violence, and to stop that, I feel as though we need help. We need I think we need the older generation of the rappers that the younger rappers look up to. I think they need to step up and do something. You know, I don't know. I mean, it's just something that I feel as though needed to be done through hip hop. Hip hop, our culture lives. You know, and if we know that is a tool that we use to touch the world, why take advantage of it? Why abuse it? Why hurt it? Why cause harm to this amazing gift that is given to us to express and teach and educate our youth in the world on what it's like in this world as artists. Thanks for watching One Eye Television. My name is Shaheed. Stay tuned for the next episode.